Today I was told that we had a school-wide assembly for some type of announcement. I knew that Superintendent Ellen Weaver was coming and that Dr. Moore was coming, so I was not sure what type of announcement we originally, a couple weeks ago, had this scheduled, but it was snowing in South Carolina, and coincidentally it was snowing when I got to carpool today, but we had our assembly, and I found out what was happening. So our whole school was present, kindergarten through 5th grade, and our wonderful Forest Lake Choir sung a beautiful song. And then they started to give us some clues as to what was going on. I did figure out that it was an educator, so somebody was getting some type of award, but I was not sure what it was. But then they talked about the Milken Educator Award and started giving some clues. And as they gave the clues, I knew it was something big and exciting, and then I was shocked when my name was called. The moment I heard my name, I just honestly was shocked that it was myself, because we have a lot of excellent educators at our school, and there are so many educators in this school that I could have picked that would have been worthy of this award. So the fact that it was me was just incredible. I have heard of it before when I've seen it on the news before, but I didn't know how people were awarded the Educator Award and things like that, but I had heard of it before. I think the biggest thing that it means for me is just to have a broader voice for my students. I work with students every day, like I talked about earlier, who may not have that voice or may have been in classrooms and feel like I'm never going to be able to learn how to read, or they really just need somebody to believe in them. And so just to have the opportunity now to spread that voice and talk about what quality education looks like, quality instruction, and meeting the learner where they are and pushing them forward is just overwhelming to think about that opportunity to have that voice outside of just my school. I work with students who are starting to show risk as having possibly some reading difficulties. Sometimes it is just a need of a little bit of support, maybe 6 weeks of support with some smaller group instruction, and then they're able to move back into the classroom and have what they need and access the education. Tier 1 education. Sometimes it's a matter of keeping those students for a while and coming to the table as a voice for, these are all the things that I'm seeing. Maybe we need to look at creating an IEP for this student, or providing more support so that this student can access the same type of education as all the other students in the classroom. So it's a little bit of both, but my day-to-day looks like me meeting with a kindergarten group, a 1st grade group, a 2nd grade group, a 3rd grade group, a 4th grade group, and a 5th grade group. And I also have a team of 3 other people who work with me and meet with students, and I kind of help them determine who they're meeting with and exactly what these kids need to work on to get them where they need to be. It's overwhelming, but it's very exciting, and just knowing the possibility of being able to share my story and my voice and how I think we can best meet all kids' needs. So I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I went to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. I come from a family of educators. My mom was an educator, grandmother is an educator, and so then I moved to South Carolina. I went to Presbyterian College and actually started teaching there after I left school at the school that I student taught at, and then my husband was in law school here, and my family was moving towards this way, and I just decided that it was time for us to take the next step. And Forest Lake, I had heard wonderful things about it. I was very picky when I interviewed to move to the next position about where I wanted to be, because I wanted to be in a place that I could grow as an educator, a place that challenged me when I got comfortable, and so I felt like this was the right fit for me, and it has been. I love being here, and I'm challenged here to be better every day, and so that's kind of how I ended up at Forest Lake. But as far as a reading interventionist, I started out as, I've taught 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade, but I always wanted to be an interventionist. So really, I'm in my dream position because that was my goal position. And now that I've been in this position, I've realized there was even so much more that I needed to learn. And so I just feel like as I gain more experience and gain more knowledge in working with students, I can just become better and better for them. So I've been here for 5 years at Forest Lake, and my classroom is just, it's a smaller version of a classroom, but when you walk in my room, you're gonna see sound walls in my classroom because we talk a lot about what your mouth looks like when you're reading, and you will see small groups. So I might be working with 3 students, I might be working with 4 students, 5 students. We follow the Orton-Gillingham IMSC curriculum, which is very diagnostic and prescriptive. And what you'll see when you walk in my room is intentional instruction. So meeting the needs of the individual learner, even if that's within a group of 3, because every kid has a little bit something different about them that you've got to figure out to address their needs. It's meaningful work, it's purposeful work. I grew up with a younger brother who was possibly dyslexic. And so watching his struggles when he was in school and not always having his needs met was really one thing that got me into really being interested in reading and intervention. And every day in education is different. And that's what's so exciting about it, is that you have to navigate and move and do different things during the day. So it's exciting. Nothing's ever the same. But when it comes down to it, it's the relationships with the kids. And that's why I keep coming back. Just seeing those students, and even in this position, getting to work with students for several years in a row. Like when you see them and they come in, they may not know their letter sounds or their letter names, and then you get to watch them learn how to read. And to know that I have that impact on someone is just an incredible opportunity and just a blessing. I probably pay off my student loans. I have a lot of student loans, but I have no idea. Do something wise with it is what I want to do. My name is Keighley George. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I am a reading interventionist at Forest Lake Elementary School, and I am a Milken educator.